Jeremiah, shut up. 3, 2, 1. Hey, Jeremiah Little, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Sietch. How are you, man?
You caught me in a day of days.
Yeah.
I'm programming. I'm cleaning my backyard. I'm doing a podcast with you. But you, sir, entered my house and you said, I have an agenda.
I do.
I have certain things that I want to talk about.
Yes, UFOs, bagel bites, everything.
So here's the thing. When I was taking my shower, getting ready for you,
Okay.
that I just want to throw this out as one big spiel, and then I'm going to have you go, okay?
Yeah.
We live in the age of uncertainty. If you have reached a certain intellectual maturity level, you understand that you'll never know if there's God or, what's behind you. Is there a fire-breathing dragon? I don't know. I don't have eyes behind me. I'm limited. I'm in an age of uncertainty. But we as a species now have entered into a huge age of uncertainty where we don't know if what we're seeing is an android, an AI image, an AI movie. Is this a human being? Is this a reptilian alien? Does tomorrow exist? And it's become a global thing now. So it's not just, the farmer guy that hasn't read Voltaire or whatever just gets up and he knows that a pig is a pig and he's going to cook that pig. Every human being has entered into that place. Like, I don't know if you are real, dude. Like, I honestly don't. If you're an android, the only way for me to find out would be to butcher you. And if I'm wrong, bye-bye me. And so we're living in this like swirling, uncertain, deceptive, where's the clarity, where's the truth? And it all goes back to that is God real argument, right? So I don't really care if there are gray aliens or reptilian aliens. I don't really care if AI is making something false or if it's real, because if I see it, I don't know. I just will never know. And we've gotten to a place now where uncertainty is everything. Everything is uncertain, from whether or not this is real to whether or not our leaders are aliens, right?
Yeah.
So, and then this is the last one, and then it's all you. This podcast, I'm kicking back. We are three-dimensional entities. Some would say the highest of us are fourth and fifth dimensional creatures. We can see the permutations and we can see through things to different places. But until you get to that sixth or seventh dimension where everything literally has happened and is happening and all that, and you can't do anything because it's already been done, and you're just this hovering eye of Sauron that can't evolve anymore, and you see every universe and every multiverse and every permutation, blah, blah, blah. Okay. We're three-dimensional. Seventh dimensional is the motherfucking place to be, but that's gotta suck. It's gotta suck. So here's the question. If we are limited and uncertain where we are, and if the end goal is being absolutely bored and ineffective because we're seventh dimensional creatures, what is the fucking point?
Right.
And what are creatures that aren't us trying to do anyways? Just maximize their time in the third and fourth and fifth order dimensions? Or are they steering us? Why? They're steering us to a fate worse than death, which is infinite, eternal misery and boredom.
You bring up a lot of good points.
All right, go.
And one of them is, the fact that there is so much information out there, and we're only getting more information, and it's doubling and tripling.
But what is the information worth?
Right.
How do we know it's real?
Right. So I would just say, as people that are analytical, it's hard for us to digest a whole bunch of stuff, right? Every time I learn something new, it pushes something old out of my brain, right? But
So does that piss you off?
It does, but you were talking about limitations. I think we eventually we do have to go to some kind of relationship with technology, like a cyborg, because otherwise, there's so many things changing and happening and new things coming up. How would we ever, as like a kid nowadays, learn all this stuff at some point? But
you're talking technology, and to me, that's just fire. Right? And so, I get it. We're rooted in this thing, and it's almost like we're all addicted to seeing who's going to be the one to figure out how to make a quantum warp drive or how to enter quantum space and become Ant-Man and all this shit. And all it is hobbyism. It's like trying to make a cabinet because your grandpappy did. We've already made the bomb. I'm not really interested in making something that is still just going to be finite and infinitely complex, and it doesn't really do anything to solve the big question. Mm-hmm. That's me.
Well, I think as people, we're just here to,
I must have been pissed.
A lot of us, we want to just make better things. I think that's initially, if anybody was to look in to our world and go, what do these people value? What do these people do? We make better things. Every single year, we keep making these things better and better and better.
So that's kind of like the Joe Rogan argument,
It
right?
is, right? But I think it makes a lot of sense. And
But
why is it that way? Because if I just kept this phone, which I've had this phone for like 3 or 4 years, it's fine.
Is it a phone?
It's a phone, and it does the same shit the new phones do. So I don't know, unless there's a limitation or this thing dies one day, I'm not buying a new phone. But
So here's what I'm hearing from you. We need to keep this conversation in the third, fourth dimension, because the thing I just described, it honestly is kind of like the kid who's too scared to ask their parents what like it feels like to get burnt. It's like nobody wants to go there. And so let's keep it in the Jeremiah focus, third, fourth, fifth dimensional level. You had a lot of topics. Take it over. What's the first thing you really wanted to talk about?
Oh, it was funny because one night I was sitting around and I think I had watched our podcast again. I've watched several others that you've done, and great guest as always.
Yeah.
And
Well, we're lucky to have a lot of really, really good people around us.
right.
So kudos to you all.
And then, so I was just thinking, I was like, man, I was on, your podcast talking about UFOs, and I never brought up the fact that I went to Area 51
Holy balls.
a long time ago. And this was before there were any real videos on
So this wasn't where they
YouTube.
said they were going to rush the gates.
No, this is way before that, which is kind of weird that they waited so long to like do something like what they were doing, right? It almost became like a fad, like Area 51 came back into fad again. But so it was probably like 2007. Me and my mom went out there, and
So what interested you? Did
Well,
you just want to
just-
see it?
yeah, so I had followed Bob Lazar forever, right? The white mailbox, all these different things that are in the UFO lore.
It's all molded out of one piece of a material that I
Right.
can't understand.
Exactly. But there was really no information about Area 51 like there is today. Like there's all kinds of podcasts on Bob Lazar and stuff. There was only this very
Yeah, but is
finite,
that information on Area 51 or is that information on Bob Lazar?
right?
Yeah.
You know. So anyway, I researched it enough to feel confident that I could go to Rachel, Nevada, and stay at the Little Alien, and it was cool. No cell phone service up there where we had to call back on a private, whatever.
No
those-
cell phones because no cell phone towers or no cell phones
no,
'cause of
no
jamming.
cell phone towers out there. Well, they were very specific to Rachel. So if you had a phone that was from their, bullshit company, you could talk. But AT&T did not work out there. So
Okay.
and I'm sure it works now. But
It almost seems like that might be a deal that was made.
right.
Yeah.
But it was fascinating to, go there and just look out. And it was red flag week, so we got to see jets around. And
Give me one second. Testing. Okay, yeah, I'm picking myself up.
All right.
So how long did you stay?
Oh, we stayed like 3 or 4 days, I think.
And you went with Mom.
Yeah, my mom wanted to go.
Was she alien-y? Like,
Yeah, she gets into all that stuff. So, that's one thing that we kind of, bond on is.
well, that has to
talking
be
about
super
that
cool
type of
because
stuff,
I
so.
imagine if she's your mom, she was kind of alive in the 40s, 50s, 60s. And she was there kind of like during the War of the Worlds,
Right.
black and white spacemen from Planet Nine
Right.
shit. And is she even able to kind of comprehend the new ideas about aliens?
Yeah, I think she is, and I help her. I help her digest some of that stuff. But we also went to Roswell. The next year we went to Sedona. One year we took a UFO tour out in Sedona, and a lot of people don't talk about Sedona, but there's a lot of weird shit in Sedona.
There's a lot of shit all over the world
Sure.
we're discovering, man. These hotspots, it's kind of just like, these holdovers from when. Yeah, but I mean, it's almost like, shit, remember the drones over New Jersey?
Yep,
Yeah.
I followed that for a while. The thing about Area 51 is kind of interesting is now there's podcasts, there's people, one's called Uncanny Expeditions. This guy, he goes all around Area 51. There's all these public sites around there. And so he'll go to there and make a video. Like
Public sites meaning like campsites or
there,
like.
it's just like, public land, but there were like old facilities on it, right? So now they're abandoned. Or
gotcha.
there's like graveyard in one of
So like
them.
decommissioned portions
Yeah.
of old military
But
bases.
the idea is that he could walk around. The dude's got a drone, and he's got a big telephoto lens. He can get on top of some of these mountains. And
Do I always need to be the asshole? I mean, does he understand that like a lot of stuff he might pry out of the dirt there might have been left behind on purpose? Like,
Right,
does
for
he
sure.
have that same?
Oh yeah, he's got a
Okay.
Geiger counter with him and everything.
But when he finds something, does he skeptically say this might be a of
Well,
red
I don't.
herring.
Yeah, I don't think he's like looking for aliens. He's like truly just like, hey, this is probably just junk that they left here. So it's
Okay.
not anything like that. But the things that he's seen, I think, are fascinating because he went out to, I think like Lockheed Martin.
Oh, God.
They have like a whole thing out in the middle of the desert, one of their little areas, and he was saying, well, I'm hoping to see this. I heard that they will put these new planes before they ever fly them.
Yeah, Skunk Works.
They'll put them on this large pole, and they'll stick them out of the ground, and then they have 2 radar dishes on each side, and they'll just do these radar tests in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Sure enough, 3 in the morning, the desert.
It's 2026, and we're putting high tech on the fucking poles.
I know, yeah, literally, and you know he's got a night vision scope, and you could definitely see it.
Nice.
This whole thing opens up. This craft comes out. It's attached to a pole.
It comes out of the ground like Dr. Evil
Yeah,
shit.
and then like these, you know, you can't see what's going on because just radar tests.
Yeah,
but it's just so they did that for a couple hours and they lowered it down. You wouldn't even have known anything was there.
Oh, dude.
It's fascinating.
One of the things that's not to, because I know you have a lot you want to go through, but one of the things I'm currently fascinated about is underground elite living. Like, you know, like I am so fascinated by the fact that there are just trillions of these black op budgets that Congress never knows where the money goes, that has just gone into like not even just out in the desert like a doomsday shelter, but just like legit an alternate society.
So that takes me back to Sedona,
right?
Because when we were out there, they took us on a UFO tour.
Can I say one last thing? Do you remember when they invaded that apartment building in Brooklyn, and there had been a whole bunch of Jewish guys that had built a whole tunnel system under the apartment complex, and they found like a mattress with blood on it and child's toys and stuff like that? But it was like a whole complex.
Yeah.
Like, is the underground society real at this point?
So something's going on in Sedona. So
Okay.
we take this UFO tour. All right, let's go out in the middle of the desert. We're going to give you night vision goggles. Let's, you know, and it was fun, right? And we got to see a bunch of stuff. Well, then the guy's, you know, he's like, all right, you guys ready for this? So where we were was kind of in like this famous canyon place where your energy supposedly spikes and whatever. But
Ooh, he's throwing in the oral stuff.
oh, yeah, they do it. So anyway, we looked over, though, because I was taking pictures, like night pictures and long exposures. And he was like, oh, that's one of the famous resorts over there. And you couldn't really see it. Like, it was just, you could just tell it was there. There was lots of lights.
So is this outside Sedona, or is this like in Sedona
So
proper?
it's in Sedona, but by, I don't know what part, but like one of the parks there that you could, you know, kind of see a lot of things, right? It wasn't in the heart of Sedona.
So fringy. Like
fringy. The fringier, the better. So anyway, we're there, and he's like, yeah, and they got a lot of underground bases around here too, and I'm going to prove it to you guys.
The government?
Yeah, government, but also like he was perhaps saying some of these large communities, right, that these resort communities might have some stuff too. So we're driving around the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden he stops us, and we get out, and it's dark as all get out. We couldn't see anything. And he's like, come over here. And we all kind of fumble around, and we get to this little area that was kind of depressed. And it was probably 5 foot by 10 foot or something. Just like one of these weird, and it's all dirt right out there and rocks
So like
and
a
stuff.
depression, sort of a.
Yeah. So, and us, you know, we're like, well, why are we here? And he's like, come over here and feel this.
I already kind of hate this guy. He's so sneaky.
So
he's like, I won't tell you, but step here.
Right. Yeah. And sure enough, when you went over to this small area, there was very cold air blowing out, and you could smell it. It was air conditioning air.
No
like
shit.
Very clean. And we were in the middle of nowhere.
But no vent in sight?
No vent.
Like no like little stovetop
Nope.
sort of.
It was just kind of leaking out, and this guy knew this. Yeah, and I was just like, holy crap.
How does cooled air leak out of compacted soil?
Yeah, I have no idea. Obviously, something's going on, but...
Was it coming straight up, or was it coming at you?
So, I mean, obviously this has been 20 years ago or whatever, but all I remember is I don't think there was like a vent there. It was just kind of seeping out of the ground almost.
But it felt like AC.
Oh yeah, you could definitely smell that. Go, oh, that's AC air, like out of a window air conditioning almost. Huh. But anyways, I thought that was fascinating. And
so if there are people that are very nicely climate controlled beneath your feet, and this guy's taking people there every week, what the hell are they not whacking him for?
Yeah,
it's like some nefarious thing.
I don't know. So I don't even know.
You have to know.
I think somebody else ended up taking over those UFO tours, but it was just fascinating anyway. So like,
but see, going back to my initial spiel, like, you know, how do you trust that guy? Right? Like maybe he's working with them and he's taking you to a place. They're like, this will be funny.
You trust no one.
You trust no one.
So I want to back up too.
Go for it.
I'm currently talking to a big podcaster right now, and he's trying to pick up this story and do something with it. But a long time ago for me, after I went to Area 51, I got to be friends with a photographer guy, and he was super cool. He came in and did some work for a company that I work for.
This was here local.
Yeah, here local. And then we got to talking one time, and he goes, I got this guy that I know, and he lives down the street from me. I'm friends with his family, and he saw some stuff when in the 40s when he was doing that, and anyway, over time, I was like, you got to film this guy. You got to film. His name was Walter, and it turns out he did.
He filmed Walter?
Yeah, so he filmed it, and then, of course, I'm like, all right, I want the DVD, right? So I got DVD. I watched it, like, every day for nonstop for, like, 3 or 4 months. But then I'm like, okay, we need to get this on YouTube. And really, back in then, those days, there wasn't, like, a lot of UFO podcasters. There's people posting old shows that were produced or whatever, but there was no podcasters like today. So I got this video, I put it online just to see what the world would think, and of course, not a lot happened to it, right? No, fast forward till now.
Is it like an hour, 2-hour interview? Or are you
it's
talking
like probably like a 30 to 40 minute video. And here's the crux of it. Bottom line, the guy is so believable. He's just a normal guy, and he's like, look, man, I was in the Air Force, I was gonna like renew or get back into the Air Force.
The first thing they teach a CIA spook?
Yeah.
Be believable.
This guy was totally believable. So anyway, his whole thing, so he tells a story that I've never heard told before, and that's the only reason why I kind of latched onto this. His story is so unique. There's lots of people.
All right, give us his story.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
He says that in the 40s, they randomly took, and this was in Indiana, he wouldn't give the name of the base, but the people uncovered it on YouTube. They know which one it is. They took him into this
base. Uncovered it, can you tell us?
I can't remember what was.
It's not Benjamin Harris.
No,
it's
it's
like
not.
Southern Indiana.
It's some decommissioned Southern Indiana base. So anyway, he said that they all took him into this room, this big room, and there was lots of other people from there from different areas that he didn't know. Anyways, basically they showed him alien body parts and pieces of metal. So he says that in the spirit of the military, the whole idea is they wanted to show the people that were the future of the Air Force that these things are out there and don't shoot at them. Was basically all they were trying to tell them. And they could come up later, and there was like these big glass jars with this liquid in it. And he said that he remembers some things floating around in there. But he even didn't even really know exactly
couldn't
why.
the Air Force just say, don't shoot at something if it's unidentifiable?
Right.
There's
lots of
send
things.
them on a tour of jars.
Right, yeah. And then he says that he thought that this went on to other facilities, although I've never heard this story before from a military person, like that this actually happened. So I can't imagine.
So he was Air Force.
Yes.
They took him to a base that has since been decommissioned.
Yep.
And they said, we're going to give you a tour of this so that you're in the know.
Yeah.
And we're doing that because we think that you're like probably in the top 1% tier that's going to be valuable to the Air Force in the future. Okay.
Yeah.
And so how long did his career last after that?
He actually, after that, not because of this incident, but he actually decided to not, because I guess after that they told him that to remain in the military he'd have to fly desk, and I think that means you just have to do paperwork and shit, and he was just like, I'm out of here.
I'm totally down with what you're telling me. It seems like a lot of effort and a lot of exposure.
Yeah.
To take a guy on a tour like that who then just decides, you know what, I don't want to ride a desk. I mean, like, was there a debriefing? Was there a we're going to whack you if you
Yeah,
talk
I mean,
about this
yeah,
stuff?
he had to sign an NDA going in.
I mean,
and don't talk to anybody. Yeah. Well, the point is
I can take a shit in a box and slap a guarantee on it, sir.
30 years later is when he started talking about this, right? And it was only 50 years later, possibly when he even did this video.
I mean,
right?
I guess back then people had a different sort of, it's kind of like, well, the government showed me this and I'm Johnny Patriot.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not
that's
gonna
what
talk about
that's
it.
what he says. He's like, hey, I trusted the government. They've fed me, they've clothed me, they gave me a steady paycheck. I'm not trying to do anything out of that box. And this is a different mindset back then, I think, for those people. We're today where you might feel like maybe you have a say in things, even though you probably don't.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's just one of the stories I just wanted to tell in case anybody wanted to look at it. It's Walter Proctor.
Walter Proctor, and that's on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
On your channel?
It's on the Robots channel. Yeah.
Like what? They don't know what Robots channel is.
Robots and Magic Powers.
So if they just like look
You just
up
Google
YouTube,
that. It's like the very first video that's on there. And then, yeah, just see what you think. I mean, I'm not here to like tell anybody they should be believing it, but so a lot of things have been going on.
All right, so Donald Trump is declassified.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So this is how UFO
you got to be
research.
just giggling every day
Yeah.
with all this shit.
So, back 10 years ago, well, let's say 20 years ago, there just wasn't anything going on in the UFO world. They would eventually, every once in a while, they come up with some new show, but it's the same shit. They just mixed it up differently. And then,
The cow's intestines started exposing themselves.
then there was always Art Bell, Linda Moulton Howe, these people kind of every day on the fringe of society, like getting the stories and stuff. But it really wasn't until recently that things started quantifying.
You got fighter pilots that are reputable.
So the fighter pilots have all come out. They've kind of said, here's what's really going on. And that kind of forced this whole, age of disclosure is what you would want to say,
like the
right?
documentary we talked about last time.
So the documentary, Age of Disclosure. But this stuff keeps multiplying.
Obama said they're real.
Yeah, so here we are.
We got bagel dogs for you, sir. Keep talking.
Oh, sweet. So, yeah.
Thank you, my beautiful wife,
Ooh. Man, those look amazing, dude.
Homemade bagel dog, homemade bread.
Sweet. That's awesome, buddy.
Now our cornbread.
I know, right? Well, anyway, so long story short, things are happening. It seems like every week, if not every day. And that's was so funny when I'm just watching the show randomly, and then the guy's like, hey, Obama just said aliens are real. And I'm like, oh, crap, go look it up.
Best bagel dog ever, beautiful wife.
Then,
so then the conversation naturally goes to, is this fucking Operation Bluebeam?
Right. So the thing about Obama saying something is we already know Hillary Clinton gives hints about UFOs because she's actually the one in the past that has told us that they're actually called UAP now.
And Marco Rubio's come out.
Yep, Marco Rubio's come
Saying that
out.
we're in a race to
Well,
get
we're-
alien tech
sure.
because if Russia gets it before us, we're doomed.
Yeah, well, yeah, if anybody gets it before we do, we're doomed. But
Like Iran.
yeah. So, yeah, Obama says, hey, man, aliens are real. But then, of course, he comes back on that. But you have to see what he has said before. He has always been a straight-faced guy like, oh, I can't talk about it.
How fucking bullshit is that, though? Like, I mean, and I know some people adore Obama and some people despise him. I personally don't like the guy, but I don't have a thought about him one way or the other. I'm just happy he's gone. But, like, how bullshitty is it to get up there with that fucking grin and say, oh, yeah, aliens, and then walk that shit back? It's like either say it or shut the up, man.
So, and I don't really care what Obama says. It's just interesting that he said it, but the thing that happened after that was most interesting.
But is it PR shit? Is he trying to stay relevant? You know, is he just being some Hollywood celebrity type?
I think they caught him off guard because it was the lightning round. They did this whole hour-long podcast about shit going on in the world, and they said, okay, it's time for the lightning round. First question, are aliens real?
Are you telling me the ex-leader of the free world got caught in surprise during a lightning round? What is this, Beast
Well, you
Games
can see the surprise on his face. Oh, aliens, yeah, they're real, but I haven't seen them. So that's his guard against, I haven't seen them, right?
Well, technically it's classified, and he could be, that's a
So
felony.
then wrap to the next day when they're interviewing Trump. Obama just said that aliens are real. Oh, you can't talk about it. That's declassified information. You can't talk about that. That is such a bizarre behavior from president. And I guess normally that would sound weird, but since everything he says is bizarre, I guess it blends in. But man, talk about, like going, what? It's classified. And then immediately the guy's like, so
of course
aliens
it's
are real.
classified. I mean, of course it's classified.
Oh, I can't say aliens are real, but it's classified. Okay, so, all right. See,
Well, I mean, I think what he means by that is any information about whether or not it's real or not real is classified. It's a total no-go. I mean, the layers of classification in the federal government are labyrinthian. I mean, there's just so many. I mean, you could get a felony for So, all right, so Obama says the real. Trump says we're going to disclose it. What the fuck is he going to disclose?
yeah, so that's
is he going to
obvious
disclose
conclusion to this.
all of the black budget operations involving alien tech? I mean, we're using laser weapons and sound weapons in Venezuela now. Which, by the way, I thought was a war crime. Weren't those sonic weapons considered like a war crime?
Supposedly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because people think, oh, the government just has all these flying, if we have the flying saucers and the government has the flying saucers, well, if we did have any flying saucers, we now know those were all given to private contractors years ago.
Can we just stop calling them flying saucers? Can't we just call them vehicles? Like, I mean, we're to the we're to the point now where it's like what we're creating is going to be pretty much indistinguishable from an alien craft, right? And I mean, I don't know. I guess you have to have some sort of a, this is alien tech versus human tech. But I mean, you could say cell phones are alien tech, right?
NHI.
All right. So what else?
So,
but like, what did you get out of the Obama-Trump thing? Like, what was new? Like, what was disclosed? What happened?
It's because Trump's always kind of hinted around about, lots of things going on around.
So what's the status of the disclosure? Like, I haven't kept up on it, but I haven't heard anything.
So, I mean, what is disclosure, right? It's a slow unveiling of all the truths, right?
Yeah, like Epstein.
And you would say, yeah, that's very slow.
10 years.
But you would say, well, what would be enough truth, right? I don't even know, because
all the truth.
But are you gonna, obviously there's something there, because even Hillary Clinton is like, there's a there, right? I can't disclose, but there's a there.
I'm going to do a public service announcement just for the entire audience. The truth minus one does not equal the truth. And one of the things I think we fall into as human beings is we're like, oh, that's enough truth for me. Thank you, sir. It's like, no. Like, truth minus one is not truth at all. And in fact, it's a perversion of the truth. And this is why people talk about sins of omission, right?
Right.
If you're talking about aliens, there's not a portion you can hold back. I want to know the first and the last. I want to counter on a website saying like, oh, wait, it's 4 o'clock on Thursday, and Zorp just came in and decided to have coffee with
Trump.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's hard to needle down on this, this big thing called disclosure. But what I will say is, if you look at what we're doing, right, the fighter pilots came out, they said, okay, now we want a place where we can categorize this stuff and collect it every single time it comes in.
We just got done saying that military guys have an honor-bound duty to the military. So are they saying it because it happened to them genuinely, or are they saying it because the government said you have to
I think
say
they're
this?
pretty genuine. Ryan,
but what's your I mean,
Sietch, how do I know you're sitting there?
Well, exactly. So you're just basically saying, okay, this guy could either be completely genuine and I believe him, or he's the best bald-faced fucking liar that's
Well, I
sponsored
think
by the
at
CIA.
some point you have to trust your gut until evidence says otherwise. I mean,
I've trusted my gut my whole life, and I now live in a fucking uncertain time where there might be reptilian aliens fucking children and eating feces out of their intestines in Papua New Guinea, man. My gut has not served me well in life.
I didn't see that show.
Did you see the one about ex-President Bush eating the feces out of intestines on a boat?
No, I guess not.
No. It's in the Epstein files.
Guess I'll have to look that up.
They had African men being raped and tortured on a yacht, and they said that George Bush was raping a black man while people were eating the feces out of a dead child's intestine.
Wow.
I never thought I would say that sentence in my life, but here we are. All right, what else? Do you think that we are under the control, or if not under the control of, being influenced heavily by a civilization / species that did not originate on our planet?
It's possible we could be influenced. I don't think
Not possible. What's your gut say? Nah. Does your gut say yes or no?
This is, we might have been influenced, I think.
Influenced.
Yeah,
so
influenced in some way.
From afar or directly? Like he came into the office, sat down, and said, okay, Bob, here's how you're going to make Nikes.
Yeah, I don't think it's like that.
Okay.
I think it's from afar. The one thing I would say is people would be like, well, why don't a UFO land on the White House line? So my point number one would be, that's not what we would do, right? If we went over to Mars and we saw people over there, we wouldn't just land. We'd just be spying on them. It would turn into a channel on your TV, and we'd watch it. What are the aliens doing tonight?
Fuck no, dude.
It's exactly what we'd be doing.
If I landed on Mars, I would pop out with a fucking case of beer, and I'd be like, what's up, fellasy? I mean, if you live in that seventh dimension or the sixth, where, whatever, what you just said is just more nefarious truth minus one. Like, you're saying, like, we'd go there and just kind of monitor it. It's like, how skeevy is that? That might as well be in the Epstein files. I'm landing there, dude. I'm popping out in a Hawaiian shirt. And I'm saying, we're all wrapped up in this fucking milkshake together, right? Like, you're a cherry and I'm a fucking piece of chocolate. Like, what's up? I would love to see how they'd respond to that.
Yeah, they might kill you.
Well, you know, the natives killed like all the early explorers too. I mean, I'm willing
They did.
to the powers that be. I will nominate myself for first contact any day of the week. If you tell me that you think there might be a civilization somewhere that I could go talk to, I will be the representative, and I will be so cool and so respectful to them and so badass and so truthful. Sign me up. And if they kill me, I won't sue.
So high level, I just want to talk real quick about why we're just taking pilot interviews and stories, right? So
Why we're just taking
yeah,
pilots.
that's all we're doing, right? So the pilots come out, they say, "Oh my God, there's this shit up there every single day. We're seeing it, right?" And so we're like, "Okay, well, let's just make a place to collect this information, right?" Now you have to understand these pilots are up there.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to go on a mission. It's $30,000 an hour to fly one of these jets, right?
Which is nothing.
Right. And they have 3 minutes to go, what the hell is that? And take some kind of, picture or whatever. And then they have to go into battle. The thing is, and they'll even tell you, Ryan Graves would say, it's not our job. We don't have very good scientific instruments to collect that kind of data.
Can we agree if there is advanced alien craft flying through the sky on our orb, that they're not being seen by fighter pilots on accident? I mean,
So
that's the other thing. It's like, oh, oops.
They just upgraded their radar.
Dude, I don't give a schmo.
They have a phased array radar system now, and that's what happened to them. There's like, I think some other raiders had seen it, but because the jets didn't have the same stuff, they couldn't really send them out.
Unless that new radar can see through temporal displacements and also, I mean, are you telling me that we have radar that can do that?
So I don't know the specifics on it. I just know what Ryan Graves has said. But here, to my bigger point is that, so Ryan Graves is saying we're not a scientific mission to actually go study this stuff. So knowing that, our end goal should not just be to have a place to collect stories and analyze footage from, gun camera footage or whatever. Our ultimate goal, since we know things are up there, is to put a plane together that has all this scientific equipment and then go do our own mission up in those areas where Ryan Graves said they're there every day. Now, if when
he
don't
says
do that,
is he talking about the Air Force?
Yeah.
I mean, again, dude, I just got to call bullshit. I mean, the Air Force knows precisely what's in our airspace.
So that leads me to my final point, Sietch.
He's like, oh, we got to find out what's up there.
Yeah. So my final point is stories are great, but getting that scientific knowledge is the best. And since we aren't doing that, we have to assume that the government already knows what these are, and they don't care.
How? And dude, Jeremiah, I love you to death. I mean, we've been friends for a very, very long time.
These are good, man.
They are good, aren't they? I hope the slurping sounds aren't on the podcast. But how on earth could any person of a certain intellectual level trust any of that scientific fucking data that came back from the Air Force that's been telling us there are no aliens since 1904 and shit, dude? It's
I hear you.
I mean, everything you're saying is I'm instantly tossing that
well,
shit
when
out the
when they
window.
come out and they say, "Oh, we're releasing these files," they don't really say anything, right? It's just like the Epstein files; they crossed out all the names.
It's so aggravating, man.
Right, so
truth
this
minus
is par
one,
for the
truth
course
minus
for anything.
one.
Yeah. Anything the government releases, it's like, here's some of the story, and the rest is blacked out.
Okay, so if we're going the whole truth minus one, the whole redacted fucking shit, if we're doing the whole slow rollout, if we're doing the whole Project Bluebeam and all that, there has to be a reason they're doing it this way, this kind of trickle down data fucking bullshit, and that's because they don't want to just kill us all. The only reason they would even bullshit us is they don't have some sort of a global extinction event, so them and Glarg can just have their underground cities without all the peasants and the poor fucks and all these people that like Britney Spears, right? So, that's at least comforting. I can handle somebody tough loving me if it means that they're still going to love me. And, supplant love with not kill or kill is basically what I'm trying to get to. But my question then is why? I mean, if you've got these secret relationships with other civilizations and species, and if you think that you're on such a higher order of the rest of society, remember Epstein said, hey, how can we quickly kill all the poor people in the Epstein files, right? Why? Why do they want us all trotting along behind them? We're not all going to be intergalactic space pilots.
Right. Some people have to bring the coffee to the pilots, right?
Yeah, I mean, and so for me, first thing that pops into mind, and I'm going to stick with it, is they just want a gene pool. Like they don't want to kill sort of what you would call the lowers, because they want to still be able to sort of say like, oh, look at this mutation, or oh, look at this interesting combination of genes. You know, because Einstein came from nothing. Right?
I've seen some mutations in my life.
Yeah, especially at the Melody Inn on Saturday. But I mean, do you think that's valid? That they're just sort of like gene farming us, and the only reason we haven't been killed by COVID or killed by the eggs that we get at the fucking grocery store or the air that we breathe is because they just don't want to like possibly eliminate something special that might just randomly come out of our gene pool?
Could be.
It's the only one that makes sense to me.
I mean, if you're looking that high level, I definitely.
Oh, we only work in the high level around here.
I think that aliens or whatever you want to call it had some kind of hand in our being here, for sure, and maybe even on our upgraded our evolution or whatever.
Well, if I remember last time you were here, you gave a beautiful metaphor about them being gardeners.
Yeah, gardeners.
Yeah,
why not?
Well, I mean, then tell us if you're benign, if you're a peaceful gardener that's just going out on a Sunday with a little mint julep,
yeah,
and you're raising your crops, how about you tell the corn that they're corn because corn gets eaten.
Yep.
Like, I'd like to know if I'm getting eaten or if I'm just being raised to be a beautiful piece of corn. Like, am I a petunia or a rose or am I soybean?
Right.
Why not? Like, why not? Like, I could live a pretty fulfilling life if somebody told me they'd give me 40 years before they ate me.
I don't know. It's funny because I was even thinking last night, like, what a perfect world we live in because we all love mysteries and we literally are
Dude, I don't.
born, and there's so many mysteries on Earth, including what's beyond our atmosphere and space. And I don't know, I love solving mysteries and just thinking about the potential answers of mysteries that I don't even know.
Yeah, but at a certain point, that's just like the same TV show, man. Like, and I'm with you. I mean, it's really cool when I solve a chess puzzle. Wee, look at me. I'm a big, proud fucking organism in a galaxy. And that feels good. But it only feels good because of our vessel, because of our programming, because of our whatever. But, like, I mean, I'll tell you this much, man. At this point in my life, I'm kind of over mystery. Like,
okay.
I'm a big fan of clarity. Like, I want clarity.
Well, for sure. I hear you. On certain things, for sure.
And then we could all play games. Oh, wait, look, we know exactly what we are. We know exactly what's flying above us, and we know exactly why we're here. Mm. Let's play a game of chess. There's mystery enough for me. Or let's just make, like, little fake, like, clue parties where we have, like, the candlestick somewhere, and it's like, ooh.
I mean, yeah, I hear you. I mean, for me, it's just you look out and it's clear that the government knows something, and you could just see the smirkness in all the politicians that know shit, and you could tell they all don't know the same shit.
So, but why ain't the aliens stepping up?
Yeah, that's a good question, and maybe it's just because they want to be hands-offish. And I have to imagine that at some point the government doesn't know everything, and that's why they don't want to release anything.
The only thing that ever made sense to me from the government down was Rubio, when he said that we're in a race. Mm-hmm. And if we're in a
He's not the only one that's ever said that.
Well, he's the only one I knew of.
Right. Well, he's the big guy that said a bunch of shit in that documentary. So,
but hear me out, because there's an unspoken statement in that statement, and that statement is, we're reverse engineering this tech.
Yeah,
and that means the aliens
he's
no
kind of
longer
come back on some of that stuff, but that's just expected from all those politicians. But I do, when I see Marco Rubio talking about something it's in our airspace is a problem. Yeah, that is a problem.
But what I'm saying is if we're in a race to develop this tech, that means the aliens are no longer kind of like as an influence, like they're gone.
Yeah.
And that's a totally different world.
But it's telling. When somebody tells you we're in a race, then you're like, what race?
But you're not following me, Jeremiah. Like, hear me out. That means that everything that's in space is ours. That completely clarifies that. Well, if we're in a race to tech, I mean, if aliens came here, they'd just give it to us. I mean, I don't think the aliens...
And I think they have. I mean, if there's a lot of stories...
Well, but there's nothing to develop.
You still have to know how it works. You could take a motorcycle and drop it off in the wagon train days, and people are not going to be able to understand.
I get an instruction manual for a fucking fan I buy off of Amazon.
But you didn't get it from China because there would have been nothing in there except for the fan possibly something that looks like a fan, so you just can't return it.
So are you telling me that aliens are just shitty Temu vendors?
Yeah, I think so, man. I think that's what it comes
right.
down to. No, but there's been plenty of stories of lost and abandoned, not even crashed, craft that's been picked up.
Well, so then you just have to go on like a binary thing. So the binary thing is the aliens came here and gave us the shit, or they fucked up and left it here and we have to figure it out. If they gave it to us, I guarantee you they'd put an instruction manual because they get no benefit from being like, let's watch the little monkeys figure
Yeah,
out.
but so I would just say for, the longest running story is Bob Lazar, which had no instruction manual, but they were able to slowly figure out certain things about it. And
So would you go that route?
that is the race, though. I think,
but you're on this fork. You're on the fork of they didn't give it to us. We've discovered it due to accidents and things.
it could be accidents, but I think they gave us some too. But I think that is the race that we're talking about. We're on this race with Russia because these things didn't just land in the United States. They've landed all over the world.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though, man, because if the aliens are here, the only benefit they would get from like an inter-country race, not like between a competition, would be to see like who the best gene seed is.
Yeah.
Like the only reason to have...
Yeah, because, I mean, if we don't get that technology first, we're toast.
Yeah.
And you could say, well, if we get it, other countries might be toast. Well, they may or may not be.
But then aliens are just dicks.
No,
they're just bigger dicks.
Well, we've already established that they're bad team new vendors.
No, that's only if they didn't include the instruction manual.
Yeah, vendors is what I was looking for.
All right, what else you got, man? I know that was a good riff, though. I like that.
I liked it.
I mean, like we're so quick to overlook the motive of aliens. Like everybody just talks about are they here or what are they doing, but nobody talks about why. And unless you actually have contact with something, you can't even approach the why because it's just massive.
I think the why is too big right now. I think you have to learn it in order.
Well, it's actually really simple. They're either farming us for resources. They either have a vested interest in us bettering ourselves, which means they're noble, or they're doing some sort of a sick, twisted like Mengele Nazi experiment on humankind.
Right.
So extraction, benefit, or
I mean, obviously, yeah, you could pick one of those, and several people have written books over the years, addressing, I think it's this one, or I think it's this one, and I think it's just speculation at this point, unless you got on, some aircraft. But I think, over the period of time, we can all look at the stories that are out there and just, try to figure out one that speaks to us, right?
Right, man. But I mean,
I just
we're
think,
musicians, dude. How many fucking stories have you heard at 3 o'clock in the
But
morning?
I just
at a
don't think
bar?
the president coming out and saying, "Oh, they're real," and here's the information. I just don't think that's enough for anybody. They're just.
I wouldn't even trust them. Like,
Right.
you know what I would trust, man? I would trust if like an energy being came down and said, "Hi, my name's Bob." Like if that dude was sitting in this chair,
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay. But I'm conditioned to this point to know that they can actually project holograms onto the night sky to make it look like Buddha has returned to fucking Earth. So,
Right.
like, I mean, even with Bob, I'm going to be as skeptical and as observant as I am with you. I mean, you literally could be Bob, the alien, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
and if he did something, you would just say, "Oh, it's a magic trick,"
Or
And
something.
so
what did Arthur C. Clarke say? An advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, and I think that's a good note to leave it on with the.
Oh, we're done?
The being the bad Timu. Is it Timu or Temu?
Timu.
Timu
I don't
vendor.
know.
Yeah. Well, so a buddy of mine, and I just happened to see this. He sent me this.
Oh, you had a haircut going on, didn't you?
Yeah, I got it coming up. But
Okay.
so
Can I throw one quick last one?
well, so real quick, he's bought something off Timu just like everybody else, right? And it's never exactly what you see in the picture. And his looked a lot different. It was some kind of do-it-yourself, build this robot thing, and it looked nothing like the picture. And it's like, wow, how do they get away with that?
Well, there's no standards and there's no global regulation thing. And believe me, as an anarchist, I don't want regulation. I'm a big believer of caveat emptor, like buyer beware. But we've opened ourselves up to this whole mass cheap fucking merchandise society, and it's kind of like I look at people and I'm like, well, what did you expect? People used to get their chairs built by the Amish guy down the road, and now it's just magically getting sent to you by some fucking guy. I mean, like, you have to have standards of some sort, or you just have to accept what you get. I mean, to me, that's a no-brainer. I mean, like, I'm not shocked that something shitty comes to me from China.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's, you kick the tires at the dealership sort of a thing.
I mean, I buy flight controllers from China all the time, and you have to just know what you're doing. You know, you have to look up what's the pinout. It should come with it. It doesn't come with it. You have to look that stuff up, and it can be frustrating sometimes.
The Chinese in particular, and maybe this is a good thing to sort of end it up, but like they have always been really good at using products as sort of weaponry. So like when I was a kid, you know, there were all these stories that farmers were just getting random seed packets
Yeah, I was
in
just
the mail,
thinking about that.
right?
Yeah, it was 2020. That's right. It was freaky.
But it's been going on since the 40s.
Right. Okay.
The Chinese have been sending seed packets as sort of like an undercutting invasive species destroy the grain crops.
That's insane. Scorched earth.
Forever.
Yeah.
And so like I'll be damned if I think the goddamn stool that I buy from China doesn't have like lead and like brain altering waves from some like subquantum like Bobby Fischer, you know, I like chess.
Yeah.
He was playing in a Russian match with I think Spassky, and he kept saying that they had the chairs wired to affect his brain waves, and he would like take apart the legs of the chairs looking for wires and stuff like that.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Right. So like unless you're the kind of guy that can like get something and completely rip it apart to inspect it and then completely put it back, I mean you get what you get.
Yeah. Well, here's hoping to a more clear future about UFOs.
I sure hope so, man. And like I want it for me just because I don't I think lying is an insult to the universe. You know, like an asteroid doesn't lie when it hits the sun. You know what I mean? And so, like, I don't know why living creatures need to live in a deceptive universe. I mean, you would think that at a certain point, you realized that truth is everything. Because there's no problems if there's truth. Not a one.
Right.
I'm going to kill your civilization because it benefits mine. Thank you for the truth.
Right.
Right? I don't know.
Oh, maybe they'll be dropping pamphlets or something. Run for your lives.
Where?
I know. Iron Maiden was right all along.
I mean, yeah, back in the Braveheart days, we could all run to the hills and eat the fucking seaweed up or the moss or whatever. But now, like,
Right.
yeah, no, thank you, Mr. Jeremiah. I
Yes, sir.
always enjoy it. We're gonna have to make this a regular thing, man.
Let's do it, man.
You know, I've kind of run out of.
I don't want to bring an agenda next time.
Okay.
We'll just talk about whatever.
Well, you're my cool, you know, nerdy alien conspiracy guy, and I think about it all the time. I just don't care.
Right.
Like legit.
And I'm on the opposite. I don't give a fuck about anything else going on. I just kind of follow this subject.
You're the mystery guy, and I'm the clarity guy.
There you go.
All righty, man.
All right, buddy.
See you, everybody.